Very warm greetings to you as you join us on today's episode of Tax Matters. My name is Olumuyiwa Matuloko. How's your week been? On Wednesday, the 18th of March, news began filtering in late afternoon, first in whispers, then louder and louder, to the effect that there had been a change of baton at the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Alhaji Kabiru Mashi Kegama Katsina, who had been the executive chairman of the FRS, albeit in acting capacity for the past 3 years, had handed over to Mr. Samuel Sunday Ogungbeson. Until that very day, the coordinating director, Standards and Compliance Group at the FRS. Mr. Ogungbeson has since resumed at Revenue House in Abuja. The following Wednesday, 25th of March, Mr. Ogungbeson held his very first engagement with stakeholders, this time with the board of Abuja bureau editors and managing editors of newspapers, radio, and TV stations. Later in the afternoon, there was yet another parley, this time with the Financial Correspondents Association of Nigeria, FICAN Abuja. Tax Matters later sat down with Mr. Ogungbeson for a one-on-one interview. On this episode of the program, we will be bringing you highlights of the press conferences as well as excerpts from the interview we had with the acting executive chairman. Is a Tax Matters exclusive, oven fresh. Early morning, Wednesday, 25th of March 2015, the Federal Inland Revenue Service headquarters in Abuja witnessed heavy traffic of visitors, mainly men and women of the pen profession, the fourth estate of the realm. Destination was the boardroom of the FRS, and the event, the first ever meeting of the new acting executive chairman of the service, Mr. Samuel Sunday Ogungbeson, with stakeholders. And the acting executive chairman had decided that the very first set must be pressmen and women. In the hall was a heavy delegation of members of the board of Abuja bureau editors, as well as managing editors of print and electronic media houses. On his part, the acting executive chairman was accompanied by very top management staff of the FRS.
Let me place on record that you're the first set of stakeholders I will be interacting with. I mean, it is just to emphasize that I recognize you as a formidable team. If I want to succeed in this bid, I need you. We need to engage. We need to collaborate. No nation can achieve meaningful economic growth and development without adequate and sustainable funding. And this is more particularly relevant today. Non-oil has not been doing too well because it's all driven by aggregate level of consumption. If the financial capability is not there and people are not consuming, it is doubtful if the much expected revenue will come in. And on the oil front, you also know that the price of oil has been declining in the last 3, 4, 5 months. And this is likely to continue until about June. Perhaps this is even the time that the best in us will come out, because it all requires being creative. What do we need to do that we have heretofore not been doing because we feel that we are in relative comfort? Now, these are not comfortable times, but we still need to get revenue because we must develop our country. And so I am beckoning to all of us here. I cannot do it alone. You have to help me do it. You must join our team to realize the mandate of the service.
Mr. Ogungbeson seized the opportunity of the press conference to re-emphasize the importance of the taxpayer identification number scheme in effective and efficient tax administration.
Once we have information on a taxpayer, then he has no hiding place. We started this project on TIN. Today it appears that the TIN platform is just naked. Press a button with the numbers of the taxpayer. I'm sure many of you have TIN numbers now. It's just naked. It has nothing, no information about you other than your name, where you work. But the banks are giving me assurance that it is possible to work with them, that's all the banks in the country, to populate that platform. How will they do it? Every check you issue, the information is captured and it is posted straight into the account of that individual. Every purchase make, they won't be the only one we're talking with. Because I don't believe in running after taxpayers, except it becomes extremely necessary. Allow people to do their business. I should be able to strengthen our tax system in such a way that information will come to us seamlessly. When you walk into the revenue house and you say, hey, I haven't done any business, no problem, what's your name? You just press his name, you press his TIN number. Information about that guy is there. It's doable.
Mr. Ogbeson also committed himself and the entire Federal Inland Revenue Service to public enlightenment.
I'm committed to providing continuous education to the entire public. We are committed to ensuring that we simplify tax payment processes. We are committed to ensuring that interpretation of tax laws will no longer be a problem because we will have everything documented. Once we can achieve these three, it will be easy to do business in this country. We want to demonstrate integrity. We want to pursue efficiency.
The chairman of the FIRS is also the chairman of the Joint Tax Board. In talking about progress made so far in the implementation of the nationwide taxpayer identification number scheme being driven by the JTB, Mr. Ogbeson had this to say.
We started this project in 2006. Since 2006, we're now in 2015, 7 years, just to get all taxpayers in Nigeria into a database and to operate on that platform is a tall order. Right now, I understood there are about 33 states that have keyed into the platform. The intention is not to take anyone's taxes. We can develop an MOU between the FRS, and remember FRS chair is the chair of the JTB. So if we say we have an association that brings all of us together, why should we be discriminating and not willing to work? Again, it speaks to engagement. It speaks to collaboration, meaningful engagement. I need to douse all the fears of the state governments who feel that we will take the past-time tax collection and put it into the central purse. That will never happen while we're here. They will open their accounts there. Our officers will help collect and pay into. That's the dream I have. I've touted this idea with some people out there and they say, hey, no, don't go there. Let the state do their collection. But I see they are not doing it effectively and they are causing distortion. They are discouraging investment in the country.
On the use of technology in tax administration.
You must have noticed also that we're embracing technology. We're introducing the integrated tax administration system. What is this going to do? It's going to help process our work more efficiently, to time. We've launched the e-filing platform. 3, 4, 5 companies are now submitting their returns through e-filing, through the electronic platform. And our officers are able to take the information and then begin to work on them. The system we have today can do risk profiling and will decide which company to visit for audit. From the comfort of your room, you can pay for taxes. We are deploying all these tools to make sure that we have a very friendly tax environment. We are also introducing a presumptive tax system. We don't have information about you, but all we're saying is that we presume this is the amount of income you've made over this period, because we'll be there for about a week or two seeing how you do your business. We're developing a regulation. It's now with the minister. It will be signed from there, it goes to the Attorney General's office with prescribed tax rates for the different bands in different sectors of the economy. The tailors, the taxi drivers, that will help. And it was embraced by the State Internal Revenue Board. I'm sure before the end of the second quarter, that will materialize. I enjoy you, my friends, the Guild of Editors, and I'm stretching out my hand to all of you. We have a duty together to work and ensure that we bring deviants or tax defaulters into the tax net. It is a joint responsibility. I want to assure all of us here, with the support of my colleagues, we will run a professional, competent, and 21st century tax agency, which every Nigeria in the next few years will be proud of.
It was indeed a sterling performance by the acting executive chairman, and the director, Communications and Liaison Department at the FRS, summed it all up this way.
Two things are very, very unmistakable. His repertoire of experience, knowledge, and expertise in tax administration is unquestionable. That he has the pedigree, he has all it takes to be able to run an effective, professional, and efficient tax administration in this country that every one of us will be very proud of. Second thing that is unmistakable is his passion for this job. The third thing you can also not miss is his willingness to collaborate with every other person, every stakeholder in this country to be able to do this job. It tells you we don't have all the solution. We don't know it all. We do not have all the answers. We're willing and ready to partner with you. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a man on the job, willing, able, and capable to do the job. All he wants is for us to support him.
Immediately after, a robust question and answer session ensued.
I want to know how you will collaborate with the authorities to ensure that this issue of multiple taxation is addressed, because it's a problem to investment.
When do we expect FIRS to prosecute offenders of tax payment, especially the big firms?
Sometimes recently, the Minister of Finance also talked about introduction of luxury items into the taxation system. I wouldn't know if we have drawn up a list of some of these items that we can know.
First is the problem of multiple taxation. You are talking about various taxes now being administered on one business. It happens at the federal, it's at the state level, even the local government councils are guilty. All this we've packaged together because the chairman of the FRS is the same as the chairman of the JTB. We've been talking together. We had to go to the Minister of Finance about 2 years ago to say, well, this is a very big problem. It's discouraging investment into the country. What do we have to do? And it went to FEC. The FEC then directed that we should get the state governors to be involved because they supervise the states. So if the local government councils are misbehaving, they have a duty also to bring them, into resonance range. We now decided it was time for us to review the Taxes and Levies Act, which we had in 1998. So it's now been expanded. And in doing this, they engaged with all the states. They had representatives of the states. There are some states now that have introduced some taxes on their own based on their edict. We recognized their peculiarities, and we transported those things into the revised list. So it's now bigger, wider in scope, and I think it's satisfactory to all. After that document was approved by Council, it was discussed again by the National Council of States, where all the governors were present, and they gave their sign-off. At the moment, the document is the Attorney General of the Federation. Once it is packaged, it goes back to Council for ratification, and we will all be speaking with one voice going forward. On the arrest of tax defaulter, why do we want to use force? If you look at the compliance continuum, there are those who want to comply voluntarily. At the extreme end are those who will, no matter what you do, they will never comply. In between, you have a shade of both. These ones are not complying, but they only need some support, some encouragement to be able to comply. We will support them. We will not apply force on those ones. And the ones who are complying, what do? We continue to encourage them. There was a time we gave bonus out with the taxes you should pay. Once you comply fully under self-assessment, take 1% of the taxes off. It was in the law. But when we came to a point realizing that everyone should be a self-assessment filer, there was no need for that 1% bonus anymore. Perhaps what we need to do is still continue to enjoy bonus in the law. But for those at the extreme end who, no matter what you do, well, you don't have information about them, when we lay hands on them, what do you want us to do? Treat them with kid's glove? That's where we want to apply force. We balance these things as the need arises. We cannot say completely we will not use force. You have to use force to a man who wants to fight you. In place of force, what we're suggesting is, we know that these taxpayers have businesses with banks. Banks are keeping their money. Okay, these banks are also collecting for us. If you are my collector, you are an agent of collection for me. If you cannot work for me in this area of getting your clients or your customer pay taxes without stress, then you shouldn't even be in the collection system. That's the approach I want to adopt. But we will invite them. Let's talk together first. There are 23 of them collecting for us. We talk together. This agency power is vested in us. We can call them and say we want to distrain the assets of the company, or we want to place a lien on the account. You can only operate that account if there's a sign-off from us. Increase of VAT to 10%. I'm not the one proposing increase in VAT. The question you ask is, what have you ever considered the economy? I'm not the one proposing. If the need arises that we must increase VAT rate, we will. We've gone a long way back in 2007 to get Nigerians to pay a little addition. For the manufacturers, let's not look at what the economics says. If you increase the rate of VAT to 10%, even the input taxes which they are paying, they claim back. Manufacturers are not the consumers. So they will not have to pass it on to the consumer because they are at liberty to claim back the same amount they paid as VAT on their inputs. But the cost of the goods, yes, it goes up. 100 naira, how much is 10%? 10 naira, it becomes 110. Will that kill us? 110. It is only the big men who are bringing in expensive cars, luxury goods, and all those things that should complain. And we have other ways of challenging them now. You know what the minister announced recently. So this small token, UK is 17.5%. Now, let's look at the African context now, particularly the ECOWAS sub-region. You have countries that are applying 20%. You have 19%, you have 15%. Ghana is still retaining 15%. Ours is still 5%, abysmally low. And they beckon out to us to say, look, you are the leader in this sub-region. We need you so that people don't always, route goods through your country into their own country. Show it up a little bit. And we went to council then. We said we can increase it to 10%, but still retain 5% for sharing. At that time, they were talking about insecurity in the country. And we said all these multiple taxes or levies, NITDA levy, educational levy, which is the TED fund, and security levy at that time, it was proposed. That was up to 2011. We will discontinue them, repeal those acts, so that these same companies that are paying do not continue to bear more burden or additional burden with the increase in VAT. And I think there's still a window for us there. The arrangement here is if you raise it to 10%, you take 2% of the collection from that source, give it to TED fund, still to continue to provide sustainable education for our children in the university. Take 0.5% of it and give to NITDA levy for the development of technology advancement in the country. You take 2.5% and devote that to security, and VAT still remains at 5%. In that case, if it does happen, companies will no longer pay education levy, they won't pay NIVA. So it was beautiful, but we were introducing it at the wrong time. It was towards the election of 2011. But the records are still there. So it is marrying the objective of providing sustainable flow of revenue to government and our obligation, fulfilling our obligation to the ECOWAS sub-region under the VAT protocol. What we need to do is we will engage with the media, we will engage with labor, we will engage with the academia, and we will engage with Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. We will tell them what we will do with the proceeds.
Every day, my people dey for work. Some dey do office work. Some get them own business. So all of them want good road, constant power for better life. Whether na office work, oh yeah, pay your tax. Whether na your own business, oh pay your tax. If you want a better life, oh pay your tax. Now your civic responsibility, pay your tax. Better soup, now money cook am. Oh yes. Nothing goes for nothing, my brother. If you want potable water, security and hospital for make life jolly.
That's right. Good roads, good hospitals, portable water, adequate security all come from taxpayers' money. Play your part in making Nigeria great. Everybody, small scale, big companies, entrepreneurs, do the right thing. Pay your tax. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS.
Later in the afternoon, there was yet another parley, this time with the Financial Correspondents Association of Nigeria, FICAN, Abuja. Tax Matters later on sat down with Mr. Ogbeson for a one-on-one interview. Mr. Ogbeson, we want to congratulate you once again on your appointment. It's a well-deserved appointment. We wonder, who is Mr. Samuel Sunday Ogbeson?
First and foremost, Ogbeson is a Nigerian and a taxman in the saddle now to run the tax administration of Nigeria. I joined the service about 34 years ago. So I am a man who has seen it all. I know when it started and the various metamorphoses to where we are today. So I think it's just a nice thing that Mr. President has appointed this time around an insider to steer the ship of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. I am married with children and I love family life. And it's simple, and that's Ogbeson for you.
Okay. An insider. So what are you going to do differently? What will be the focus of your tenure?
I will have a vision. There's no doubt about that. I mean, as the leader in charge now to steer the ship of events. But my vision will not be different from the vision of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. What is the vision of the Federal Inland Revenue Service? It's about quality service being provided to taxpayers. Why did we select or agree on this vision? Because we believe that it's only by doing it together that we can promote effective tax system. By doing it together, that we can guarantee sustainable revenue flow to the coffers of government, even without emphasizing all the time that you must increase revenue. Only a revenue contractor will keep talking about increasing revenue. Put a stable system in place, and everything will work for you. So that's my mission, and that's also my vision, to make sure that I work with all trade groups, all stakeholders, to actualize the mandate of the FRS. So what I intend to be doing now that I've started is to improve upon engagement, engaging with the various stakeholders and collaborating with our agents of collection. We have to have a common understanding and operate on the same page. So I will beckon on the media. I will reach out to all our officers on the field, those who are actually collecting, because I know I cannot do it alone. All the directors at the headquarters who have relevance in this matter will all be brought on board. We will talk to ourselves, marshal our plans together, and we go out there continuously engaging. You will see it in a matter of 6 months. You are bound to witness a change.
In that your mission, what do you require from government? What do you require from your members of staff?
From government, I'm already getting support. The Minister of Finance is supporting us. The Minister of Finance, they're supporting us. They direct policy affairs in relation to tax administration. You know, the three components of a tax system. You have the policy, you have the law, and you have the tax administration. I will engage with the executive, with the legislators. We still continue to engage also. It's collaboration with them. All the proposals we'll be presenting, they are the ones who ultimately will give their nod after the approval from Mr. President. So I cannot but work with them. Judiciary, I will work with them. And now, what is within my purview, that is ability to deliver, is the tax administration itself. And that's in-house. That's my people. That's JTB. I will continue to talk to this. It's all engagement again.
Time, oh time. It is obvious now that time will not permit us to conclude this exclusive interview with the acting executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service. So we promise that next episode we will try as much as possible to conclude the interview. So keep a date with us. It will be Tax Matters, same day of the week, same time of the day on this station.